Hey, what's up, folks? I'm Shock Illusionist Dan Sperry, the anti-conjuror, and fun fact about me that you might not realize that I grew up oh god, alright. Twinkle Baby wants to say hi. When I was growing up, I loved watching pro wrestling. I would watch it in my dad's basement with a mixing bowl on my lap, and that's where I practiced my sleight of hand, watching the Monday Night Wars. So as I was practicing, if anything, fell, it would just land in the bowl, and then I could pick it up and keep, practicing. Anyway, that's the backstory. But like a lot of people, I guess I kind of fell out of love with pro wrestling over the years for various reasons we don't need to get into right now. However, once AEW started getting started and getting going and bringing a different option of wrestling back to sort of prime time or what have you, however you want to describe it. Of course, like many people, I was curious, and it led to me falling back into love of pro wrestling, seeing a lot of these indie guys that I've heard of, along with old school guys that I remember watching. It's just been awesome, and in a lot of ways, maybe like some of you, it helped save my pandemic. So although this is not a magic video, this has nothing to do with magic, but I love watching pro wrestling so much that Wednesdays have become my favorite day of the week, not just because of me doing my weekly show in Las Vegas, which, by the way, if you're ever in Vegas on a Wednesday night and I'm in town and not on tour like I am right now, feel free to stop by the Griffin and check it out. Even if I'm not there when you get to Vegas, come check out the Griffin anyways. It is the best bar in Vegas. It's like Harry Potter and CBGB's out of Vegas. What we're going to talk about right now is I just wanted to get something going here, just something to do, and share my thoughts and do like little recaps of Dynamite, especially now they're back on the road. This past Wednesday was their first Dynamite back with fans on the road. They were in Miami, and boy howdy, it was a humdinger of a good time. So this week's episode is called Road Rager, because I guess they were on the road and stuff like that. And of course, after the 4th of July, it opened up with a very, all-American look from the American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes opening up with the strap match. Cody Rhodes against QT Marshall. Just real quick too, the whole production, the whole setup was awesome. Cody was able, obviously, to hire some Oompa Loompas or something to hide underneath the stage and crank him up out of the stage. He came up like, I was getting flashbacks of the Brood almost, although the Brood's entrance was much better. Sorry, Cody, just saying. But a great opening. Anytime you put together a show, wrestling or any sort of entertainment show, I've always felt, and I think it's kind of a rule of thumb, you gotta make an impact, you gotta start strong, you gotta build, and hit him right between the eyes. I thought it was great. I thought it was a great entrance, and I thought the match in general was cool. I was a little apprehensive about it because it was like, oh, what, another strap match? It was just kind of like, I feel like we've had like a lot of strap matches lately, but this one was my favorite so far. Obviously, Cody and QT have history. They've wrestled in the past, and without getting too kayfabe breaking or whatever. I mean, they know each other, familiar with each other. It showed that they know what they're doing. Man, I thought it was great. And although, QT, for such kind of a more quiet, more unassuming type heel, I've really become a fan of how QT Marshall, Marshall, I'm going to blow this. I'm still going to keep calling Marshall. It's really hard to break that habit for me a bit. But I thought it was a really great bit. I was a little confused at first as to the stipulations, because you got to tag, the turnbuckles. Whoever tagged all 4 in a row uninterrupted, they're the winner, right? But then, it's up to the ref, but I was like, well, how is this gonna work? Like, what? But it worked out all right. There was a little bit of a brouhaha. Twinkle, relax. I thought them using the straps, the whipping each other with the straps looked great. It sounded great. I was also a really big fan of Cody's getup too. I mean, Uncle Cody Rhodes, Uncle Sam Rhodes or whatever. Looked great, playing off, the American Nightmare, which you said 4th of July, so it all makes sense, right? In the end, of course, Cody won, which was fine, but we'll see where this sort of rivalry goes from here. Like, how many more times is this going to happen? Personally, I'd like to see more of Nightmare Factory folks versus Factory folks. Well, fine, you can just chill up there. One quick thing I forgot to mention that I thought was actually really cool was at towards the end there, where QT spit in Cody's face. What a heel thing to do, especially like coming out of the pandemic after the virus and stuff. Man, like what a heel thing to do, right? And then of course, that's just, fast forward, spoiler alert, triple crossroads. But yeah, anyways, thought it was great. I really liked, the opening, strong opening, just the production looked awesome, and on the road, the lighting, the pyro, everything. There was also a little bit of a teaser. I should also mention a little bit of a teaser that coincidentally worked out perfect, because with like the tropical storm or whatever it's named, they're called, that's going through Florida, the lights flickered and went out to try to sell that, maybe some technical, glitches or what have you, which is going to come in handy later. And boom, next cut to a little segment in the back. Sean Spears doing a little promo, a little shout out talking about Sammy Guevara, and then all of a sudden, from out of frame, someone just basically, lawn darted a folding chair, of course, at Sean Spears. Who else could that be but Sammy? Sammy comes in, gets the last word, and we're gonna see where this goes from here. Obviously, I think we know where it's gonna go, but I'm okay with it. Sean Spears is a good heel because I just find him so unlikable in general. I don't know. He's just not for me. That's just my opinion. I'm nobody. I'm just a total AEW mark, and that's all I have to say about that. So don't take my word for it. Next segment, again, another little talkie moment. The champion Kenny Omega coming out, which is awesome. I love Kenny Omega as the champion. I know he's very polarizing, but I find the writing and the way they've been doing some of these segments just hilarious. I've been fucking knee slappers. Basically, it comes down to, Kenny Omega, and Don Callis gonna do the promo. They're doing their heel thing, and then of course Dark Order comes out. Evil Uno comes down to the ring just like last week, gets up in Kenny's face, and then it becomes like almost his playground type thing. There were some great bits, some great lines, and the one that I thought was awesome in this whole segment, very juvenile, such a juvenile thing, where Kenny Omega is like basically, dogging on Evil Uno, and how he basically sucks in general, and that he's not even smart in any way, he's unintelligent. I can't remember exactly how he put it, but then he said the joke where he's like, going off of how stupid Evil Uno is or whatever, he does this is like playground shit, like we used to do on the playground, where he's like, what's the capital of Thailand? That's it. I almost did it backwards. What's the capital of Thailand? And it was like one of those gags, Bangkok, right? And so then Kenny gives him a low blow, but I was dying when I watched this. I thought it was hilarious. Because it's just like one of those old stupid gags. I remember playing that gag, on my friends and receiving it too. I was on the receiving end of similar ones, these little, boys being boy things where, they just dog on each other all the time, right? Like on the playground and whatever. I remember growing up in Minnesota, everybody always wore beanies or toques or whatever you want to call them. I don't even know where this came from. It's just something we always used to do. And, you go up to someone that's wearing this, a toque or a beanie, and you go, what happened in China last night? And they go, what? You go, the lights went out. And then you slide the beanie over their eyes, and then you push them, because usually there's somebody on their hands and knees behind them, and then they fall backwards, right? Usually it's into the snow, so it doesn't hurt so bad, but, sometimes it's onto, dirt or, sand or hard grass, depending on where you are in the playground. And of course, big brouhaha, breaks out. Everybody's just beating on each other. If they get Evil Uno set, like Omega's gonna hit him with the belt. Cue the music, of course. Adam Page comes out. Place goes bananas. I was right there. I was totally into it. Hangman Page comes out, cleans house, clears the ring. He goes down with him, pops back up. I was totally sold. I was totally sold he was going to buckshot Kenny Omega, but he didn't. Man, it still was great. They get up in each other's face. Waka, waka, waka. Anderson pops up, distracts Hangman. He goes for it. Boom. Omega grabs the belt, scurries off. I really liked this whole thing, too. Made Hangman Page look really good, in my opinion, but what do I know? He was able to just clear the ring by himself, standing there. The dude is so over. We'll see if they're gonna give him the belt in the end. But what a great story, them coming from being tag team partners to now. I think it's awesome. I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of the whole thing. Honestly, I would have liked to have seen this segment before, in place of the Sean Spears chairman segment. I get it, at least it was short and sweet. I watched it on YouTube, so I'm not sure, maybe they did a commercial break or something, but I watched it streaming, so it was in sequence, I guess. Sorry, I'm in a hotel on the road. I don't have TV, so this is the best way I could do it. Don't tell on me. I would have liked to see that, because it was just so fast moving, going from, strong opening to this, blah, 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 blah. But whatever. I'm not my monkey, not my circus. The next bit, though, now we're back to another interview segment. This is in the back where Jim Ross was having to sit down with Darby Allin and Ethan Page. I'm going to try not to screw this up. But Ethan Page has really grown on me, actually. Gosh, and again, I think the way, and I don't know who's planning this, but like QT wearing that stupid, like, asshole stepdad shirt, like this way, like the asshole stepdad, right? That wears those kind of shirts. That just, you just hate him even more. Like, you're just like, God, that guy just looks like a motherfucker. Same thing with Ethan Page. It's just his outfits are obnoxious. He's wearing this loud, obnoxious shirt that just basically makes you realize this guy is just full of bad ideas. So the sit-down segment, right, you know, it's what's wrong? What's wrong, guys? You reminded me again of like back in elementary school. After you get in the fight on the playground, you have to go to mediation, right, with the principal or assistant principal, and you got to sit down and go, all right, what's going on, fellas? And that's kind of what it was. It was like old Grandpa Jim, you know, had pulled the brothers apart because they were fighting over, you know, whatever, the video games or whatever it was, right? Ethan Page, I'm going to screw this up. Ethan Page, I try not to say Hangman, but Ethan Page and Darby have this history why they're going at each other's throats so aggressively, especially after last week. Darby had the claws out, right? Man, and I don't know if this was completely scripted or not. I don't like to know those things. I like to, you know, I like to still be able to experience wonder and mystery in that aspect. So I don't know if this was completely scripted or not, but man, in my opinion, this made, don't say it, Ethan Page, EP, I'll just start calling him, no, because that's going to sound like Young Bucks. Oh god, this made Ethan Page actually look really good. He had some great bits. There were so many like cool little soundbite lines in this episode. I thought I liked the bit where Ethan Page at one point, you know, he's like, you know, Darby, you have to paint your face to hide the shame and blah blah blah. Oh man, great. Darby basically got in Ethan Page's eyes, Darby got gifted this place and this gig with AEW. Darby has such, you know, he's got such a striking look. Like people I know are comparing him to like the new Jeff Hardy, or you know, obviously they're putting him together with Sting. But I don't know if like maybe he needs to go to some improv classes, because he can still be, I feel like he can still be like the meek, quiet guy. But I just feel like he's never had great mic moments with like great soundbite. In some forms of entertainment, we call it learning how to talk. I'm not saying he doesn't know how to talk. Maybe he does, but it just hasn't been showcased properly yet. I'd like to see more from Darby. He doesn't have to, you know, be loud and aggressive. I've never really seen him be able to have that. And I think I just feel like there's things missing from Darby that we're not getting to experience that he doesn't have yet that could push him a little bit higher. I'm not saying that he's not over, but I feel like he's running out of gas. The momentum just isn't there anymore. And honestly, I'm more a fan of Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page right now, and I'm curious and looking forward to see what happens with the casket match next week. Of course, last week it got a little wonky because the way I understand it, and rightfully so if this is true, they had to do a quick last-minute reconfiguration out of respect for what happened in the tragedy of the apartment building that had collapsed down there, and because they were going to be there this week. I totally get it, and that's very honorable of them to do that. And so now we're going to be able to see and see what's going to happen here and how this is going to play out. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Now, the three-way tag, Inner Circle versus Pinnacle. Of course, this rivalry still happening. Of course, Pinnacle coming out with Tully Blanchard. It was FTR and Wardlow, which was awesome because I really like FTR and I wanted to see more of them. I feel like we haven't seen them really enough in the past forever. So I was totally stoked to get to see them, as well as Santana and Ortiz. You don't really get to see them really on their own either. And so that was great. They also came out with Conan, which was awesome. I was a big Conan fan when I was younger, watching the Monday Night Wars and stuff. So that was cool. The whole match was just non-stop. It kicked off. They were just, fists were flying. Bingo, bango, bongo was great. The Jake Hager bits versus Wardlow. Of course, it's, you know how it is. They're just kind of putting everybody together that goes together. That was cool. You know, I get it. I like seeing that. Kind of like one for one. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was a really good match in general. I mean, just go watch it. Not much else to really say except just cool, man. You know, I didn't mind it so much. The end, though, this is what I really wanted to talk about. The end I thought was great. At the very end, when old Uncle Tully actually took out Conan from behind, took him out at the knees, I guess you could say, and the Tully like took like a dive at it. You know, it wasn't like a little chair shot or whatever. Dude went for it, and it was sold perfectly. I thought it was awesome. I loved the match. It was great. I think it was in the perfect spot in the, you know, throughout the course, in the running order, in the card, whatever you want to call it. That was in the perfect spot. Yeah, I just go see it. It was fun. It was a fun match. Just really cool to see these guys. I mean, of course, we've seen Wardlow, Jake Hager quite recently, and it's obviously been a thing, but just really to get to see FTR, Santana Ortiz do their thing, wrestle. They're awesome. They're both of them too. I should clarify that. I really liked it. So then, to keep the ball rolling with the energy of the heels or the bad guys, cut to Carl Anderson doing a promo, calling out Jon Moxley because we haven't seen Mox for a little while, and for obvious reasons. But calling him out all about the IWGP United States belt that they're gonna go head to head for next week. We had some awesome, they were really cool montages of the Machine Gun, Carl Anderson, you know, just knocking people over and killing people in the ring essentially. And I guess we're getting that next week. So I like this little bit. This was, you know, just keeping that energy going. Really cool to like now, you know, dangle the carrots for what we can expect next week already during the show that's happening this week. I like it when they do that. I think that was smart and just kept that energy going. I liked it. I thought that was a good segment too. Not a whole lot going on otherwise. Not like you got interrupted or broken up or anything. Just you know, just your old school chit chat, yelly, point at the camera, make some growling noises. I don't know. And yeah, next week, Mox versus Anderson. Looking forward to that one. So then now cut back to, you know, sweeping camera shot of the venue, and like I said before, it looked great. The production looked so top notch. It looked awesome. This is the stipulation standoff of the MJF versus Jericho match, and holy buckets, we had someone from the crowd rush the ring, and MJF covered it perfectly. I'm not sure if that was real or not. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you think it was real. Hard to tell. I mean, they were in Florida. Florida, you guys are weird, man. You guys are crazy. Out of your mind. It's the Wild West down there. I love it, but it's the Wild West down there. That's why I'm probably going to be moving there sooner than later. But even before that, you know, Jericho comes out, and it's basically kind of right as he was getting to the ring towards the end of the Judas song that everybody sings, and then some people try to sing. I feel like as part of Jericho's media package that they play on the screens, they should have the lyrics like the old Disney movies, but it's like a little champagne bottle, like a bubbly. That's like, you know, I'm coming, you know, because some obviously people don't know the lyrics really of the. They know the chorus, right, and the last lines, but I feel like they don't really know the rest of the lyrics outside the chorus. I guess those are just lyrics, and the chorus is the main. But I don't know. This was another bit of, in my opinion, great writing as they're going over the stipulations, or whatever. MJF is going over his stipulation to face Jericho one more time as he's reluctant, and of course along the way, MJF is being mega heel like he is. I love MJF. I think he is great, really great on the mic. I mean, if you follow him on social media, that dude lives this 24/7. Some great lines, you know, throughout this. I don't want to spoil it, but great back and forth, great bits of MJF yelling, and then at one point, you know, Jericho is he said something to the effect of you know, having to he'll do anything, whatever MJF sends his way, even sleep with his mother. Again, yeah. So, but the timing was perfect. They perfectly timed, because already, you know, even sleep with your mother. That's like a ooh, you know. Then Jericho says again, oh, holy shit. You know, now it's like even crazier. I loved that bit. And then I'm sure at the very end of this, it's probably going to be set up to be written that Jericho is actually MJF's biological father, and now Jericho's angry. MJF is angry at Jericho because Jericho, you know, left, and maybe it's gonna be a 21andMe or whatever that's called, the ancestry match or something. But and instead of like a Money in the Bank, it's like a Manila envelope, like the Maury Povich show, and maybe guest referee Maury Povich. I don't know, but anyway, so then they start fighting and they find out, oh my God, Jericho's really my dad, but now I have to wrestle him. So they start fighting and wrestling and beating the shit out of each other, and then they slowly start breaking down and getting emotional, and then they just embrace and they hug, and then at the very end they kiss on the mouth. Or maybe not. Bottom line is, Jericho is going to have to wrestle 4 times, different rules each time. If he makes it all the way through this gauntlet, or the trials of Jericho, whatever he called it, then he goes against MJF. If MJF beats him in the end, then Jericho is done, and because MJF has continued to beat Jericho, so this is like, strike 3, you're out kind of thing. And so Jericho accepts, the terms or whatever, takes the pen, signs his name, throws the mic, signs his name. I thought it would have been great, after all this build up, and Jericho, takes the pen and, I'll sign it. You got a pen? Can I borrow your pen? At the end, he can't. The pen doesn't work, and he has to borrow MJF's pen, and then whatever, and then he darts it at him or something at the very end. I don't know. I just thought that would have been hilarious, but I know why they didn't do it. It totally would have killed the moment. At the very end, MJF is all like, "Yo, dude, we got we'll let's shake on it." Blah blah blah. Jericho gives him the Judas effect, and MJF sold it perfectly. Then we cut to another promo segment in the back with Britt Baker, who is awesome. One of my favorites right now. An amazing heel, like the girl MJF almost, and she was spitting some fire. Really great talk points on the mic, and she mentioned about how Tony Khan is so rich and blah blah blah. Maybe he should do a show in Saudi Arabia, which this is like 2 weeks in a row now, right? Where like AEW people are like kind of like low key talking some shit about WWE, because like was it last week or was it the week before, where Eddie Kingston was, without naming WWE, but it's like obviously this is who we are talking about, right? Or who they're talking about. So that was pretty good. Britt Baker, talking about the match last week that went down, her and Rebel against Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero. I'm not really feeling this. I don't know about you guys. I'm not really feeling this. Nothing against like Vicky or Nyla Rose, but like I'm way into like where's Ty Conti? Why can't she like come up the ranks as a babyface? Or even Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill is one of my. I want to see more Jade Cargill. I think she's a badass. I don't want to see her anymore with what's his name? Smart Mark Peterson or whatever. I don't know. Jade Cargill should just come out and just destroy everybody. But I know that's probably not gonna happen. They're obviously, hopefully. I mean, I shouldn't say obviously. Hopefully they're thinking and the wheels are turning and something is going on behind the scenes that we're not aware of yet. And we'll see what happens. But yeah. So I guess we're gonna have another Britt Baker Nyla Rose match. I think I'll let my dogs out to go to the bathroom when that happens. Then now, speaking of Vicky Guerrero, we had the debut of, I'm going to have to say this slowly, Andrade El Idolo. I'm going to blow that so bad, but I'm getting better. Andrade El Idolo. I'm probably saying it totally wrong. But I was totally stoked to see this. Matt Sydal, I'm not really a fan of the Sydal brothers. They're okay. I don't know. Just their hippie yoga thing just irritates me. I don't know why. It's just like, it just gets under my skin. I don't know why. But I was really stoked to see this. I was so nervous. I was actually really nervous about Andrade getting put with Vicky. I'm not really sure. I mean, I get it. I do get it, but I kind of don't at the same time. But it's fine. But I was really nervous that because he got stuck with her, she was going to bring the excuse me the same way she does it with Nyla, which is totally unnecessary. And especially like the way like in the past episodes, what was it? Was it last week, the week before, when he came out and then Matt Sydal just walked past him and they didn't do anything. But now looking back, I kind of get it. That's not going to be his style. The dude looked like $1,000,000. I loved his outfit. I loved the gear. I loved the lucha mat. I love that he wore it out and he takes it off like it's like he is, but he's not, like he's breaking the rules. His costume tore away and he wore, the pinstripe pants, the shoes. I always felt like Matt Hardy, as Big Money Matt Hardy, would be wearing something similar to that. Not the sleeve cut off shirts, like you know what I mean? I feel like if he's gonna be the Big Money Matt rich guy, he should look rich in the ring, and Andre looked awesome. Just a good, solid match. I thought it was a great showcase. It was moving fast. They were flipping and flying. He did the, what's it called? I wrote it down. What does he call that thing? The hammerlock DDT at the end to close it out. But really, I mean, not a whole lot of heel type stuff with interference or anything. It was just let these guys go at it, and they did. And Andrade really, I thought looked like a big fan. I'm sold. I love Andrade El Idolo. I think maybe he's gonna be coming up the ranks against Miro. Hopefully not, because I want Miro to keep the title for a bit, the TNT title for a bit. And I'm sure he will, but this will be interesting to see where it's going. But I'm not sure. I guess Andrade is a heel. I'm not really sure. We'll see what happens. But I also feel like there's maybe not enough baby faces up the card that are on Dynamite. Or if they are, they're just unforgettable. Or not unforgettable. Sorry, they're just forgettable. I said that as I'm trying to remember. I mean, yeah, I guess you got like Jungle Boy and everybody and, you know, Christian Cage. I don't know. You know, I don't know. I feel like their heels are on another level, even than most of the baby faces in certain ways. But maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Great match. I would put this one up there. Just go watch it and enjoy it. I mean, I loved it. It was cool. I'm a big fan. Andrade El Idolo, big fan. Look how I did it, guys. Speaking of Matt Hardy, we're talking Matt Hardy, Christian Cage. Starts with Christian Cage and Matt Hardy, then he jumps in. You know, two separately filmed segments combined together. Great little montage package that they put together talking about them coming together to fight after 20-some years of being frenemies or whatever. It's actually going to happen at Fyter Fest. That's where they said it was going to be at Fyter Fest. But some great bits, some great lines. Matt Hardy saying, you know, Christian Cage, you've always just tried to copy me or something. You know, everything I did, you did. Everywhere I went, you would go. Then Christian Cage said something like, you know, never trust a guy with a, you know, an ill-fitting suit and a bad haircut. Really great bit. I liked this little segment, this little montage too. The package was great of them just, you know, beating the shit out of each other. I liked it. So we'll see. And I think like I said, it's happening in Fyter Fest. Apparently and spoiler alert, apparently the power was acting up again in the next segment, because cut to the ring where Tony Schiavone is going to be interviewing Arn Anderson. It's so fucking cool to see Arn Anderson as well. I remember watching him growing up and hearing about him when I was younger, like my dad talking about the Four Horsemen and all that. Tony Schiavone, like, I feel like now, like, anytime you get slotted to do an interview with Tony Schiavone, just don't, because something bad is gonna happen. Poor Arn Anderson. Arn, Arn, stop getting in the ring, dude, because, like, then, what was it, he's always getting, like, knocked out, right? QT, you know, knocked out Arn, you know, back in the day, a few weeks ago, that spawned the feud between him and Cody and all that. And this was a little bit different. This is, you know, Tony's about to talk to Arn. Arn also just really hyped up the crowd a little bit. It was really great. And that's when the lights went out. As if by some supernatural force, the lights come back on, and there's Aleister Black, Tommy End, Malachi Black, whoever, Monkey's uncle. I don't give a shit. We kind of felt that this was happening, but not necessarily that night. But what another fucking great way to just sort of have like a welcome back to the road party, you know, for AEW. The debut of Malachi Black and perpetuating the storyline. That, I mean, it gets really hard to keep up with all this shit. You know, like, you gotta watch their YouTube, you gotta watch their Instagram, you gotta watch their whatever, you know, you gotta go on Twitch or something, I don't know. But this was great. Kind of, you know, I mean, I don't know, I didn't see it coming, I wasn't expecting it, but probably like some of you guys, it was just like when he got released, it was just kind of like, he might, you know, but we just didn't know when. And so when it happened, it was just like, fuck yeah, let's go. So he knocks out Arn, knocks out Cody, because of course Cody tried to come to the rescue of Uncle Arn, and, you know, knocks out Cody, and then just has this, you know, smirk of, like, you know, the most villainous pirate in the entire world capturing yet another ship and buried treasure or something. And he just sort of faded and strolled into the back or into the black. I don't know, but I think this is great. we'll see what happens here. I guess this means we're starting a feud between Malachi Black and Cody, since I'm guessing because of the strap match, Cody and QT are done now. That's like gonna be done, but maybe there's still gonna be the Factory versus Nightmare Factory stuff happening. I'm not really sure, because I could see some more stuff between Dusty and Nick Camarado being a thing, perhaps. But either way, that's probably what is gonna happen now. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And if that is how it is, hopefully they just get that over with really quick. And hopefully, Cody, if you're watching this, or if anybody that sees this is watching it, Cody, please, if that is what happens, just please let him win so we can keep this thing going and let him get built and let the momentum keep going. Please don't win over Malachi. I have so many different names I'm gonna screw up. Just please don't. Just let Malachi Black win and be done with it, and let him carry on and keep destroying and terrorizing the rest of the roster. Then there was a pre-recorded little package of Ricky Starks coming to the ring earlier with his entourage of security, talking some trash about Brian Cage. Taz comes out like, Ricky, stop stirring the pot. You're breaking up the family or what have you. Brian Cage comes out, cleans house. Whatever. So next week it's going to be Brian Cage versus Ricky Starks. We'll see what happens here. I have a feeling, because I don't know. I have a feeling. I'm a big Brian Cage fan, by the way. Big Brian Cage fan. We'll see how this plays out. Maybe Brian Cage will be getting the upper hand, because why wouldn't he? And then perhaps Powerhouse Hobbs is going to come out, disrupt it, some sort of heel nonsense, and now we're going to have Brian Cage as a babyface to hopefully start going against guys like Miro to try to go after the TNT title, because we need, in my opinion, again, like I was saying earlier, more like babyface guys and even bigger babyface guys like Brian Cage, the Machine. I'm down for it. Looking forward to that. I don't care if Brian Cage is a heel or babyface. I prefer him as a heel, but let's see what happens. Let's see where this goes. I'm cool with it either way, and hopefully, though, like I said, this will provide more people to try to go after Miro or even go after Kenny Omega. However, it appears that Hangman Page is getting the gift of that, but who knows? We'll just have to see how it unfolds after next week. You never know, right? Then we come to like the ballad, the slow dance part of the set list is what I usually call this kind of thing. But that doesn't mean that it was bad, doesn't mean that it was slow. It was actually pretty good. I mean, it was a good match. It was Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander versus Bunny and the Blade. I'm going to say this right off the bat. I'm indifferent about Chris Statlander. Orange Cassidy is obviously one of the most popular and over dudes right now, and that's clear. Like, just when that Pixies song hits, like, the place goes bananas, right? I will say this too. I never really paid much attention to Bunny or Blade so much, but now watching this, I actually really like them. I like them more than Statlander, and I'm cool with Orange Cassidy. It's fine. The match was all right. I guess even though he's the Blade, he carries brass knuckles. I don't know. Silly, but whatever. But Orange Cassidy was like, he probably has them hidden somewhere. So, sure enough, Blade had the brass knuckles hidden on his person, right? So those get thrown out. Next thing, boom, let's go. And it's Bunny and Orange Cassidy. And Orange Cassidy does the pockets thing, and he's, kicking and clicking Bunny. And then she's like, I'm out of here, Blade, you go handle it. I will say this, though. At one point, Statlander did put Bunny in a vertical suplex that lasted, like, decades. I think by the end of it, Cody and Brandy's kid and Moxley's kid are now main eventing the program that evening because it's that much time has gone by. God bless her for taking that, right? Cut to the chase at the end, of course. Big Bang Theory on Bunny. And that looked good. Sometimes that move makes me nervous. Like anatomically, some people, if they're not tall enough or whatever, I feel like it's a difficult, it gets a little close, so it makes me a little nervous. Gives me some gas sometimes watching Chris Statlander try to do that. But this is all right. All in all, the match was good. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens from it. But afterwards, then we get shown a quick little bit of segment of Jungle Boy getting a trophy. for his 50 wins in a row, which, and there's like the paparazzi or whatever, or not the paparazzi, media people taking pictures of Jungle Boy standing there with his award. This was awkward. This just looked really awkward. I mean, I get it. They're trying to really push Jungle Boy. I'm not sure if Jungle Boy's supposed to know how to talk or not. He always looks really worried. Like, I feel like he looks really worried, like he realized he forgot his room key. Like, have you ever done that where you're like, you're out after a night and you get back into the lobby and you're like, all right, made it back. I forgot my room key in my room. Like, where did I put the room key? Like, that's what I remember it feeling like, and that's what it looks like to me. Is it just looks like, or he lost his wallet. Where he goes, oh, I left my wallet in the car. He's obviously very talented. I'm indifferent about Jungle Boy. Obviously very talented, and I'm sure he's a great guy, but I'm not into being spoon-fed stuff like this. I don't know, maybe that's just me. All the best to Jungle Boy, and I hope this, momentum keeps going for him, because I'm not saying it's not well-deserved, I guess, but I'm not smelling what they're stepping in or shoveling in our face. Now, the next segment, though, I thought was awesome. I didn't really know where this was going to go necessarily, because Dan, what's his name? I don't have it written down here, but Dan, what's his name, from the MMA team, whatever it was. At this point, I was just watching, and I wasn't really keeping very good notes. But he came out and just talked trash for 4 minutes straight. This guy was spitting fire for 4 minutes. I mean, that's really hard to do. That is so hard to do without teleprompter or anything, obviously, like that. Like, this was completely rehearsed, which I'm sure it was to a degree, but in no way could this have been word for word scripted, and if it was, good for him. But like 4 minutes straight, just spitting fire, talking trash about pro wrestling, talking trash about AEW, and enough's enough. Lance Archer came out, beat the hell out of him, gives him the blackout. Gute Nacht. I thought that was awesome, and good for Lance Archer. I love Lance Archer. I want to see more pushes for Lance Archer because, like I said, just more bigger babyface dudes is something that I'd like to see more of in AEW. That could go up the card, especially guys like Lance Archer. I think he's talented. I like his whole thing that he's got going on, the whole gimmick, the whole energy, the whole what have you. I'm a big fan, and I like this little bit, and it just kind of helped, I think, pick up the pace, towards the end of the program. Now we're coming up to the main event, and I think that was important. It's strategically placed here very well when you're like designing a show and laying out a show. I think this was in the perfect slot, the perfect spot. Well done to that guy, Dan. Little Ludaladaloo or whatever his name was. I know it's like with an L. Lemsip, Dan Lemsip. I don't know. But great little bit, great segment, and good on Lance Archer. Really cool. So now we're at the main event. Penta and Eddie Kingston versus the Young Bucks. Holy fucking shit. This match you need to see. Too much to go into. Is street fight, so it was like garbage cans, tables, tacks. Holy shit. When they brought out the tacks, I loved it. I thought it was awesome. Just go watch this match. I was just in love with the whole thing. I don't want to give any spoilers because it was pure entertainment. I mean, they nailed it or they tacked it, whatever. Boy, okay, no pun intended, no bad dad jokes, sorry. It was so good. I'm a big Penta fan. I'm a big Eddie Kingston fan. I'm in New Jersey on a contract right now in Atlantic City. And every dude that walks through the hotel lobby or the casino not only looks like Eddie Kingston, he sounds like Eddie Kingston, or they sound like Eddie Kingston. I thought maybe, just maybe, they were going to give them the belts and then do like some quick turnover maybe next week or whatever, like buy some old shit. I don't know, or steal them. I just didn't know. At this point, with this match, as close as these counts we're getting, the tap, I can't remember, it was Matt or Nick tapped at one point. I mean, I thought for sure, just at this point in this week's program, who knows? They might as well give it to him. Like, I'm sure they would, right? Like, it wouldn't surprise me. I thought maybe, I mean, who knows? But I was thinking for sure. And one of the breakups, again, I think it was Matt. Did a 450 onto the ref. Okay, no more spoilers after that. Onto the ref. What the hell is going on here? What is going on? I mean, it's no wonder they sold out in an hour for Chicago. Congratulations, AEW. I'm a total mark for them. Just go watch this week's episode. Maybe I'll do this again next week. Sorry it's a bit late, but you know, having to do the shows every day and such, and then I'm not able to watch it as it's happening because I'm in a show, so I have to go try and find a playback somewhere afterwards and take it. But man, oh man, definitely worth checking out. Watch this week's episode, watch AEW, and maybe see you guys down the road. Enjoy, gute Nacht.